And next up, we have the welterweight matchup for the main card. We had Vicente Luque and Michael Chiesa. A ton of action early, a quick finish. What do you think?
Well, I just was so excited to get to watch Luque fight. He's one of my favorites. I full disclosure, I bet on him, so he definitely made me sweat it out. That I did not expect him to be in such bad positions against Chiesa, but yeah, the fight went about how I would expect it to go in some senses of the term. He was walking him down, doing what he always does. Looked like he might have hurt him. I couldn't tell if that was a slip or not. He went to pounce like he always does, and Chiesa, credit to him, caught him with a really well-timed blast double, and I did not think he'd be able to take him down and at least hold him down so easily. Chiesa looked physically strong. He looked dominant in side control. He got Luque's back, and credit to Luque. It's just some of the things that you don't realize. We're used to just looking for submissions when talking about someone's jiu-jitsu acumen in the UFC, but there's little details that go into escaping positions like that, being able to scramble. And I think what that shows to me, I think there's always some guys like that in the UFC where they can end up in a bad spot and they're just completely unfazed. And I think Luque is one of those guys where he's clearly just comfortable being uncomfortable. He got right up and basically scrambled out and then snatched his neck. And you don't really see that happen. I've never seen someone go
Yeah,
from almost being choked out to finishing someone with a choke in
you
such a
have to
short
be
time
calm.
span.
Keep
So
that thing in
yeah,
mind.
uh, it adds just another layer to his game. I think he impressed some people, and I don't think him being in such a bad spot, I don't think that takes anything away from him. Like I just mentioned, I think he just showed another layer to his game, and I'm really excited. What do you think? Where do you think he stacks up in this division now? What do you look for next for him?
Yeah, I mean, this is exciting. We could say this about so many divisions, but it's just one more name getting added to the mix atop. I hear a lot of guys already talking about a potential matchup with him and Usman, if he were to beat Kobe, Usman that is, and Luque would be a dynamic matchup. I don't know who wins that, but I'd watch it any day of the week. And to your point, I mean, every fighter is going to have situations of adversity. We saw him with Khabib even, and someone who finished undefeated. It's how you fight through. It's how you stay calm. It is how you get the win, which is exactly what happened. To your point, it did not look good giving up his back to Chiesa, but within seconds, it all turned around and being opportunistic gets you the win. So we can expect great things moving forward from him.
Yeah, and honestly, maybe I'm biased because he's one of my favorite fighters, but I think matchup wise, I really like his style against someone like Usman. I'm not saying he would win, nor would I bet on him against Usman, but I think what you need to beat Usman is a threat of submission to thwart the takedown, which he clearly has. That
Yeah.
you know his submission game is as good as anyone in the division, if not the best at this point.
Yep.
It's two straight finishes. He catches people quick with that
And
with
he's a
that body.
finisher in general.
Yeah, and the aggressive striking style. I think Usman's so long that people that try to play at range against him or they don't march forward. I think that's where Usman does his best work. And so someone who can get in and make the fight scrappy, I think, could match up potentially well. And so
I
I'm
mean,
just really excited.
stylistically, who matches or who reminds me of slightly is Gilbert Burns, and we saw Burns hurt Usman very early in that fight. It's just he wasn't able to finish the fight, and obviously he got finished then instead. But
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a little precursor
exactly.
there.
So I'd love to see him fight Burns as well. I think Burns is probably a better wrestler and could potentially use his wrestling more actively, but I think Luque is a more dangerous striker.
Yep.
And sometimes you have to be a better wrestler. You just have to have a better anti-wrestling type
Yep.
technique, which that Darce show definitely has. And so I would love to see him matched up against someone like Leon Edwards, like we talked
Just about to
about.
say, yeah.
Yeah, I think him against Edwards makes a lot of sense. He definitely needs a top guy. I think he's won how many fights in a row now?
Enough.
Six.
Enough
Yeah,
to prove it,
yeah.
yeah.
And his only losses are to
Leon and
Thompson.
Wonder Boy, I think, yeah.
Yeah,
Doing my
Leon, but
homework there.
so long ago that it's just I don't care about that. They're both different fighters at this point. So
And I think even if the matchup with Usman does not come immediately, I think this is the tier we're talking about. I mean, you're still going to have that Colby. You're going to have Uh, all these guys we're mentioning, the Leons, even a Masvidal in there. Any
Masvidal, yeah.
any matchup we can put
About,
Luque with now is going to be exciting.
huh,
Any matchup he's in is exciting anyway because Luque is there, but just going to add to it.
yeah, that Masvidal fight. The more I think about it, sounds more and more exciting.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what he does next.